It's been over 2 years since we seen that Dollar Tree Sukuna pull up himself. No need for introduction. Give it up for Momoshiki Hot Fire. Hey yo, tell Sasuke when I see him, I'm going for the other eye next. I mean, bro has lost all purpose in life. Kishimoto really gave him that Thor, I didn't go for the head ass treatment. Nah, Boruto really out here looking down like he's like the godfather of all shinobi. At this point, we already know what it is. He pretty much just comes and goes as he pleases. Tell me how we got a chapter right about 3 bad beachies being on Boruto's... Right, Boruto. As a man who had bad beachies, ain't nothing wrong about having your cake and wanting to eat it too. This is coming from like a recent divorcee, because apparently in like a marriage you can only have like one woman, and like, you know, but I still don't really know what actually says that in the term marriage, bro.
Either way, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join the notification gang.
Nah, we gotta talk about this. I don't even need that rerun of the Legend of Korra finale. I still feel upset about that. I get it, it was years ago. I ain't letting it go. I am not letting that go.
Gay.
So as of right now, Gaara is bedbound and is no longer on death row. Kinda. Due to wake up, do we know when? Sooner rather than later. Momoshiki's back. Himawari's out here training to give Jura that life-changing fade. Moegi's finally back, but as a man who prides himself on being a genuine... I don't care. Boruto has 3 bad beachies that actively want to suck his... We'll start right there. Sarada has been in denial for like the longest time, to the point where in the beginning she would always talk about how she wants to be Hokage. I mean, she still wants to be Hokage now, but it felt like whenever she would sit there and talk to Boruto or even about Boruto, Boruto was always seen as like her protector in some sense. Well, at least that's what Boruto wants to be for her. He wants to be someone who protects the Hokage. But as time's kind of gone now and everything that she's seen him go through, it seems like Sarada sees him more, or sees him as something more beyond the Omega, the Alpha and the Omega. Something more, something beyond. I don't really know what I'm insinuating here, but you know what I mean. We are finally at the point where Sarada and Sumire have a conversation. And of course, Sumire likes Boruto, but she always wondered whether Sarada liked Boruto within the same way. And Sarada denied these feelings for a long ass time, to the point where you would sit there and be like, come on bro, just holla at my dude, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course he got a lot going on in his life and stuff. He don't need no side chicks or no, you know, side trips or, you know, distractions or nothing, because my man gotta handle business. But I do like the way that she's finally embracing it a lot more, and it definitely makes things a little bit more interesting, because now it seems like Sumire isn't gonna hold back, neither is Sarada. So at this point you're kind of sitting here and you're just like, oh, okay, so y'all both just gonna go for him or something? I mean, I have no problem with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. I definitely am curious to see how this is gonna play out in terms of who he ends up with. Now, he could end up with them both. Do I have a problem with that? Absolutely not. But, you know, it's still a kid's story, so yeah. Ada listening in, and you know, she's kind of like, oh, how dare they have a conversation about this without me? And in my mind, I'm kind of sitting and I'm like, so what was you gonna sit there and do? Be like, oh nah, he gotta go for me next. But I low-key feel she'll probably end up with Kawaki, maybe. But honestly, she looking at Boruto some type of way, and I'm not mad about that. He got 3 of them. 3 bad, you know what I'm talking about. Exactly. Momoshiki's back and he's on the verge of despair. And what's interesting is that the first interaction that Boruto has with him is, yo, freeloader, as sulky as ever I see, almost indicating that he's seen him or they've had like a prior interaction, because before that he hasn't used his karma in like 2 years. And you know, Momoshiki's like, I ain't got no place to go, I can't even die, I can't even take over your mind the way that I used to, or your body. And I don't know, something kind of just reading Diddy vibes for me. Like, you know how somebody say something sus and they're like, yeah, come on man, like no Diddy. One day somebody just gonna hit him with that, oh Diddy. Yeah, I meant it exactly as I said it. Exactly like that. And at this point, what you gonna sit there and do? Nothing but shrug. And while Momoshiki in his feelings, it's funny because Boruto just sat there and they just gave him an ellipsis as his response. He's like, yeah, cool, I hear you, but I don't care. I need your help. Boruto got straight to business to the point where Momoshiki was like, yeah, get out my face, boy. Like, and you know, Boruto ain't dumb. He's gonna sit there and, you know, he gonna find a way to negotiate. My man's a businessman at heart. And what I like about this is that Momoshiki's definitely interested, because at this point, the offer is if they defeat Jura, Momoshiki can basically have Boruto's body. Now, for story purposes, this is gonna be kept dangling in front of us because, you know, there's a possibility that Boruto might defeat Jura. Of course, after we saw the whooping that Jura gave to Boruto, he's clearly not gonna do that despite having the karma. Kawaki had this man's karma and still never whooped him. He was still playing games. So they're gonna need something more. So of course, this agreement will eventually become null and void. That's one. And two, I'm not gonna sit there and say that, you know, this is the right way ahead, but Boruto needs to get stronger. One. Two, this does make him a bigger target for Kawaki. But also three, I think this will give more purpose to Momoshiki's life in the sense of what he could do next. In my opinion, I think they might part ways at the end of it. They might discover that they're a lot more similar than different and decide, you know what, it was a good ride, but I ain't trying to be here forever. And they may find a way to kind of part ways, almost like with Sasuke and the curse mark. Gave him some power for a good amount of time, and then, you know, he moved on with his life. Even though the curse mark was like an inanimate object, it wasn't actually an actual being. But yeah, Himawari's out here training. And it makes me sit there and wonder, after the exchange of words she had with Kurama, what is she? So Kurama and Himawari are training, and the conversation is really what made me give it its own segment, which is where she is a Jinchuriki, but she's closer to a Biju than she is to being human. And she's closer to what Jura and Kurama are, as opposed to being like a human being. And it's crazy because now it makes me sit there and think, will she be the one to actually tip the scales in favor of them winning against Jura? Because if that's the case, where she's more closer to what Jura is and closer to what Kurama is, at this point, she's only within, I'm not going to sit there and go as far as saying that she's within striking distance of beating Jura, but she's a lot closer than most people. Definitely closer than Konohamaru. That guy's useless. But you know what? He's still in the story, so we still gotta appreciate it. Kinda. And I mean, with the power that she racking up at this point, she gonna be doing them Biju Damas with her mind. I think I am interested to see where the story goes next. I do want to see how Kawaki's gonna react to Boruto making that deal, because they're gonna fight Jura again and Momoshiki's gonna come out, and it'll only just sit there and prompt Kawaki even more to sit there to get rid of Boruto. They're definitely gonna have to be stronger, and they're gonna need something else in addition to what they're using right now in order to sit there and defeat Jura, or Himawari might just come in and give him the finishing blow. But at this point, we even still gotta sit there and consider what Code is doing. No word on him as of yet. It seems like Sarada and Sumire are getting that Legend of Korra treatment. Do not end the story on that note, because that will piss me off. And I mean, my opinion doesn't matter, but I'ma still share it anyway. But yeah, either way, what did you guys think? Did you like this chapter? Did you not like this chapter? Where do you think the story's going next? Either way, like, comment, subscribe, and I'ma holla at y'all later, man. Peace.